Welcome back, my friends. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about topics in the crypto community right now, KASPA. Over the last few weeks, this project has been making serious waves, and the level of excitement around it feels almost electric. Before I break everything down, let me throw a question your way. Are you prepared to witness what could potentially be one of the most undervalued gems in the entire crypto market today? Because, based on the latest updates, that's exactly where things might be heading. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in crypto. Recently, Joe Wong revealed a crucial piece of information that has the KASPA community buzzing with anticipation. According to him, the official launch of KASPA Layer 2 mainnet has now been narrowed down to a very specific time frame, September 25th through 27th. For many longtime followers, this isn't just another routine announcement. It's the kind of news that can completely reshape market sentiment, attract fresh capital, and possibly redefine KASPA's trajectory in the short and long term. Honestly, this revelation has me more hyped than a child walking into a candy store for the first time. What makes this announcement so exciting is the introduction of KAS smart contracts. Wong emphasized that this development is likely to drive massive on-chain activity and trading volume once it's live. If you've been around crypto long enough, you know how powerful the launch of smart contracts can be for a project. Just think about how Ethereum's entire ecosystem exploded once its smart contract platform became the foundation for DeFi, NFTs, and countless other innovations. Seeing KASPA stepping into that same territory is a very big deal. But of course, no crypto update is complete without a few reality checks, and that's where Crypto Grodd comes in. In his usual blunt style, he commented that KASPA doesn't seem expensive at 8.5 cents if you believe it's heading to $10 someday. Sounds bullish, right? But then, almost in the same breath, he adds that a $10 valuation would mean KASPA's market cap surpassing Ethereum's current value. And that's where the logic gets interesting. On one hand, it's easy to get swept away by dreams of parabolic growth. On the other, basic math reminds us that not every projection is grounded in reality. It's classic crypto behavior, being wildly optimistic while simultaneously pointing out why that optimism might be unrealistic. And honestly, that's exactly why we love this space, because it lives in that tension between impossible dreams and unlikely achievements. Grodd also asked a fantastic open-ended question. What year do you think KASPA might actually hit that kind of milestone? This is where things get tricky. Some folks throw out aggressive timelines like within the next cycle, while others prefer to zoom out and take a more grounded approach, recognizing that adoption takes time. Personally, I lean toward staying optimistic about the tech while being realistic about timeframes. It's all about balancing enthusiasm with patience. Now, if you've spent any time on crypto Twitter, you'll know that bold predictions are part of the culture. One user, hilariously named KASLucional, gave a particularly spicy forecast. According to them, KASPlex is about to launch in just a few days, but before you start celebrating, they warn of a sell the news event. In other words, right after the hype, we could see a flash crash, only for the real bull run to kick in later. And if you think about it, that sounds almost identical to every crypto cycle we've seen before. Hype builds, the price pumps, early holders cash out, the price crashes, and then, if the fundamentals are strong, the project recovers and eventually thrives. It's a pattern as old as Bitcoin itself. KASLucional also did a bit of chart analysis, pointing out that the 1-hour and 4-hour charts look bullish, hinting at possible short-term upside. But the daily time frame still looks bearish, with major liquidity zones sitting around 9.11 cents and 9.55 cents. This means we might see some upward movement, followed by a retracement. The real question is, does this kind of short-term volatility help KASPA grow stronger over time, or does it just create unnecessary stress for holders? In my view, volatility is part of crypto's DNA. Without it, we wouldn't get the massive opportunities this market is famous for. Another voice in the community, Micro, added an eye-opening perspective. According to him, KASPA is currently the most used proof-of-work blockchain by a wide margin, and the numbers he shared are absolutely staggering. 5 times more usage than Bitcoin, 14 times more than Litecoin, and a jaw-dropping 102 times more usage than Monero. If these figures are accurate, it raises a serious question. Why isn't the broader market paying more attention? Micro also described KASPA's experience as smooth, swift, and addictive, almost like people can't stop using it. He even went as far as to label it digital silver. Honestly, as someone who has experimented with countless blockchains, I can tell you that when a network actually works seamlessly, it leaves a strong impression. Many older chains feel clunky or outdated, while KASPA seems to be offering something fresh that could scale to mainstream adoption. But adoption metrics alone aren't the full story. Some argue that network usage is the ultimate signal of future success. Others believe that factors like developer activity, exchange listings, and regulatory climate play equal or even bigger roles. Where do you stand on that debate? Do you trust usage numbers as the ultimate compass, or do you think there are deeper layers we need to consider? Speaking of community conviction, the KASPA network account recently highlighted just how bullish sentiment has become. According to their latest data, the project is currently showing 92.5% bullish sentiment, ranking number 1 across the market. That's pretty remarkable, considering KASPA has achieved this level of support without venture capital backing. In a space where many projects rely heavily on VC funding and marketing budgets, seeing such organic conviction is refreshing. They even compared KASPA's trajectory to Cardano's. Remember when ADA climbed from 10 cents to $3, reaching a market cap of around $90 billion? Despite critics labeling it as full of empty promises? If that could happen, then what might unfold when a project like KASPA delivers genuine adoption and secures Tier 1 exchange listings? It's a provocative question worth thinking about. The network also branded KASPA as internet money that works and the retail killer nobody sees coming. Bold statements, no doubt. But boldness has always been part of crypto's story. Sometimes it takes audacious ideas to break through the noise. Still, the critical question remains, is having no VC money an advantage because it allows for grassroots growth, or is it a limitation because it caps resources and exposure? Meanwhile, KASPA Boy reported some groundbreaking news about KASPA Finance launching on the IGRA testnet. For those unfamiliar, this marks the beginning of DeFi possibilities on KASPA. And that's fascinating because most DeFi ecosystems today are built on proof-of-stake networks, not proof-of-work chains. Seeing DeFi expand into this territory could differentiate KASPA significantly. The testnet already includes swaps, analytics, and more functionality thanks to collaborations with Eagle Labs. If you enjoy experimenting with DeFi platforms, this could be worth checking out. But as always, approach testnets cautiously and never risk more than you can afford to lose. The question here is whether KASPA DeFi will just be another copy-paste of existing protocols or whether it can truly carve out a unique niche. Security is another area where KASPA seems determined to shine. According to Scape Squad, KASPA maintains the same 51% Byzantine fault tolerance as Bitcoin, unlike proof-of-stake systems like Ethereum, XRP, BNB, or Solana, which generally offer only 34% tolerance. For those new to the term, Byzantine fault tolerance essentially measures how much control an attacker would need to compromise a network. And in this respect, proof-of-work systems still hold an undeniable edge. While retail investors often chase speed, low fees, and short-term pumps, security tends to be ignored until something goes catastrophically wrong. Scape Squad also highlighted that major names like Marathon Digital Holdings, Kraken, and Tangem already support KASPA. When established players start aligning with a project, it usually means there's something worth watching. Then there's Mona, who shared one of the most thought-provoking takes. She believes Bitcoin maximalists are slowly becoming KASPA maximalists. At first, that might sound strange, but the logic is interesting. KASPA wasn't designed to compete with Bitcoin, but rather to complete Satoshi's vision. With instant confirmations, uncompromised proof-of-work security, and genuine scalability, Mona argues that KASPA is what Bitcoin would look like if it were invented today. That's a bold claim, but it resonates with people who see KASPA not as a rival, but as the next step in Bitcoin's evolutionary journey. Mona also reminded everyone that while crowds will rush in when KASPA hits $8, right now, at just 8 cents, early believers have a rare opportunity. This is the classic crypto dynamite. Early adopters bear the risk, but they also stand to reap the greatest rewards if the vision comes to life. Now, let's shift gears to the charts. Currently, KASPA is trading around 8.3 cents, up roughly 3% in the latest 4-hour window. After months of sideways consolidation, any movement feels significant. The token had a recovery earlier this month, climbing from 7.2 cents to about 9.5 cents, but has since cooled back into a broader 7 to 10 cent range. While this can frustrate traders who thrive on volatility, long-term investors often see consolidation as a necessary foundation before the next big move. The key support zone to watch is 8.2 to 8.3 cents, where buyers have consistently stepped in. If this floor holds, the next obvious resistance sits between 9 and 9.5 cents. A decisive breakout above that could open doors to testing 10 or even 11 cents, levels we last saw in July. On the flip side, if support breaks, a return to 7.2 cents or even dips towards 6.8 cents isn't off the table. Technical indicators show a neutral outlook. The RSI sits around 52, suggesting neither side dominates momentum. Open interest is lighter than before, hovering around $424 million, which means fewer leveraged positions in play. That might actually be healthy, given how leverage can amplify both gains and losses. Current data shows net longs at around $136 million and net shorts at about $171 million, slightly favoring the bears but not strongly enough to dictate clear direction. In other words, the market feels like it's waiting for a catalyst. But beyond charts and sentiment, there's a deeper philosophy at play here. According to KASPA builders, buying KASPA isn't just an investment decision. It's a choice for the kind of financial system you want to support. They argue that fiat money will always lose purchasing power because central banks keep printing more, while KASPA's fixed supply of 28.7 billion coins in proof-of-work security makes it a hedge against inflation. With 10 blocks per second, fees under 1/10 of a cent, and genuine decentralization, KASPA positions itself as digital cash that actually works. In their view, holding KASPA is like casting a vote for a censorship-resistant, inflation-proof monetary future. Whether you see that as idealism or realism, it's certainly a powerful narrative. At the end of the day, what excites me about KASPA isn't just the price action or the short-term catalysts. It's the combination of strong community conviction, technical innovation, and grassroots momentum, all happening without the usual flood of VC dollars. Some of the best crypto success stories started this way, with authentic support from everyday users who believed in the mission before the mainstream caught on. So, where does that leave us? KASPA is standing at a fascinating crossroads. On one side, we have upcoming milestones like the Layer 2 mainnet and smart contracts, growing adoption metrics, and strong security fundamentals. On the other, we have questions about valuation, timelines, and whether the broader market will truly recognize its potential. For now, it's a project driven by conviction, experimentation, and grassroots passion. Whether it fulfills its bold promises or not, KASPA has already proven itself as one of the most intriguing stories in today's crypto landscape. Thanks for watching. Like the video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe if you want more real-time updates, moves, market trends, and hidden gems.